On Christmas Eve, many years ago, I lay quietly in my bed. I did not rustle the sheets. I breathed slowly and silently. I was listening for a sound. I was afraid I'd never hear the ringing bells of Santa's sleigh. According to a friend of mine, Santa wasn't real, but I knew he was wrong. Late that night, I did hear a sound, but it wasn't the jingle of sleigh bells, too. It was the hiss of steam and the squeal of metal. I looked out my window and saw a train standing perfectly still in front of my house. It was covered with snow, and steam billowed from its engine. A conductor stood at the door of one of the cars. He took a large pocket watch from his vest and looked up at my window. I put on my slippers and robe and tiptoed downstairs and out the door. All aboard, the conductor said. I took his outstretched hand, and he pulled me up the steps. The train was filled with other children, all in their pajamas and robes. We sang Christmas carols and ate nougat-filled candies as the train raced northward. Outside, wolves howled as we sped past dark, silent forests. We climbed mountains so high it seemed we would scrape the moon. But the Polar Express never slowed down. Suddenly, the train did slow. We had arrived. The conductor announced, "We are at the North Pole." Outside, we saw thousands of elves. In the center of a huge, open square stood Santa's sleigh. The reindeer were prancing, their harnesses jingling. It was a magical sound, but not the one I was waiting for. Santa Claus appeared, and the elves cheered wildly. He marched over to me and, pointing my way, announced that I would be the one to receive the first gift of Christmas. Santa asked what I would like. I knew exactly what to ask for. I whispered in his ear, "I would like one of the silver bells from your sleigh." Santa smiled. Had an elf cut a bell from a reindeer's harness. Santa held it up and said, "The first gift of Christmas." He handed it to me. I put the bell in my robe pocket. The clock struck midnight. Santa leaped into his sleigh, and with a crack of his whip, he was gone. As the Polar Express headed home, the other children asked to see my bell. I reached into my pocket, but all I found was a hole I'd lost. The silver bell from Santa's sleigh. I was heartbroken. On Christmas morning, my little sister Sarah and I opened our presents. When it seemed all the gifts were gone, Sarah found one last small box behind the tree. It had my name on it. Inside was the silver bell. There was a note attached. It read, "Found this on the seat of my sleigh. Fix that hole in your pocket." Signed, Mr. C. Shook the bell. It made the most beautiful sound my sister and I had ever heard. My mother remarked, "Oh, that's a shame. It's broken." My father agreed. When I shook it, they couldn't hear a thing. At one time, most of my friends could hear the bell, but as years passed, it fell silent for all of them. Even Sarah found one Christmas that she could no longer hear its sweet sound. Though I've grown old, the bell still rings for me, as it does for all who truly believe.